All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're cracking open a truly fascinating text from the 16th century called the Arbatel of Magick. And trust me, this is way more than just a book of spells. It's actually a whole philosophical system that lays out this unique and frankly super-structured view of the entire universe.
And get this, right from its 17th century preface, the book itself tells you it was controversial. It basically says, hey, most people won't get this, and they'll probably fear it. So it's setting the stage right away for a text that believes it holds some pretty profound secrets, far away from the barking dogs of ignorance.
So before we can even begin to understand what's inside, we have to get one thing straight. The Arbatel has a very, very specific definition of the word magic, and it's probably not what you're thinking.
I mean, just look at this contrast. It's central to the whole philosophy. On one side, you have magic, which is defined as the highest form of wisdom, a way to worship God by studying his creation. It's the peak of natural philosophy. And then on the other side, you have sorcery, which is totally condemned as something diabolical, built on pacts with evil.
This brings us to the practitioner, the magus. And the Arbatel is crystal clear about this. A magus is not a sorcerer. The word, it says, originally meant a wise person who studied divine matters, like a philosopher, a priest, or even the wise men from the Bible. It's a title of wisdom, not wickedness.
Right, and this path of wisdom isn't some chaotic grab for power. Not at all. It's a highly disciplined spiritual practice. In fact, the Arbatel lays out a strict set of rules, or aphorisms, that a true magus absolutely has to live by.
So what this boils down to is basically a blueprint for the ideal practitioner. They have to be pious, always praying, secretive, because this knowledge isn't for just anyone, disciplined, avoiding distractions to focus on their studies, and constant, living a life of integrity. So you see, it's not really about gaining power for yourself. It's about piety and perfecting yourself.
Okay, so now that we've got the terms down, let's get to the real heart of the Arbatel. This is where it gets wild. Its most incredible feature is this detailed cosmology, this vision of a universe that's run by a spiritual government, appointed directly by God.
And the key to this whole system, the linchpin of it all, is the number 7. According to this text, God appointed 7 great spirits to govern the entire created world.
And here they are, the 7 Olympic spirits. As you can see, each governor is linked to one of the classical planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and so on. They're also given rule over a specific number of provinces, which are like cosmic jurisdictions. It creates this really clear hierarchy, with Aratron of Saturn being the most powerful, ruling 49 provinces, all the way down to Phil of the Moon, who has just 7.
Now, this is what I think is just brilliant. It shows the sheer scale of their power. The Arbatel claims these spirits don't just rule space, they rule time. Each governor gets a 490-year reign. The text even gives a specific timeline, saying Haggith's reign started in 1410 and would last all the way to 1900. It just gives the whole system this sense of immense, ancient authority.
So let's actually meet these governors. Each one has a totally unique set of powers and abilities that they can teach or give to a worthy magician.
First up is Aratron, who's lined up with Saturn. His powers are all about the Earth and its hidden properties. He can teach you alchemy, help you communicate with spirits of the underworld, and he has power over life, death, and transformation, like turning living things to stone or making the barren fruitful.
Next is Bethor of Jupiter, a being of nobility and good fortune. He can raise people to high positions, reveal hidden treasures, and he commands the spirits of the air. But notice the fine print on his most incredible power, prolonging life for 700 years, but only if God wills it. That divine hierarchy is always there.
The leg is linked with Mars, so as you'd expect, he's in charge of military stuff. But what's fascinating is that this governor of war is also called the Prince of Peace. So he doesn't just grant victory, he grants honor, and maybe even the wisdom to know when peace is the better option.
The solar spirit, Ach, is a bringer of some pretty magnificent gifts. We're talking great wisdom, perfect medicines, 600 years of perfect health, and complete mastery over wealth. Not just turning things into gold, but giving you a purse that magically refills itself. He really embodies the perfecting power of the sun.
Haggith, tied to Venus, fittingly is in charge of beauty and aesthetics, but his powers are more than skin deep. He's a master of transmutation, turning copper to gold and then back again. Plus, he can grant you the loyalty of serving spirits, so he represents both beauty and utility. Ophiel of Mercury is the governor of knowledge and communication. He teaches all the arts and sciences and is said to grant familiar spirits pretty easily. His ultimate trick is pure alchemy, instantly creating the philosopher's stone from quicksilver, which is a symbol of reaching the highest level of wisdom.
And finally, we have Pool, the lunar governor. He rules over the waters and the metal silver. His powers are all about healing, commanding water spirits, and granting a long life. He basically represents the mystical, flowing, reflective side of the cosmos.
So after going through all those incredible details, let's zoom out for a second. What does a text like this actually tell us? Why is it so significant?
Well, ultimately, the Arbatel gives us a window into a completely different worldview. It shows us a time when the universe was seen as this single, divine, enchanted system. Astronomy wasn't just physics, it was studying the homes of these cosmic governors. And magic wasn't superstition, it was a kind of applied theology. Everything was connected. And that leaves us with a final question to think about. Is the Arbatel a literal map to secret powers that are actually governing our reality? Or is it a beautiful and complex relic of a belief system we've since lost, a forgotten chapter in our long quest to understand the cosmos and our place in it? The answer, I guess, depends on what you choose to see.